Hey everyone, this is Isaac
And this is Jackie.
from Nonessential Media, and you are listening to the Beach City CROWS podcast. This podcast is all about our favorite cartoons, mine being Steven Universe.
And mine being Haikyuu.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy.
Hello everyone, welcome to Beach City CROWS. My name is Jackie.
My name is Isaac.
What up? Week 6 of quarantine. We had a fan request to watch Infinity Train. So we did. So we're going to talk about Infinity Train. This is totally different than anything we've ever done before. We are going to talk about a show that's not Steven Universe or Haikyuu.
Kind of like that though.
Yeah, it's a good change of pace. And fortunately, we both liked Infinity Train. So it'll be easy for us to talk about it and not be complete assholes. So let's talk about... Okay, first of all, what's a good place to start? What's your overall thoughts on Infinity Train?
I really liked it. I can't remember the last time something, a cartoon, like animation, got me hooked that quickly. I think the last time was Legend of Korra.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Me that quickly.
Totally.
I was really excited. And I actually just stopped taking notes after episode 5 because I was like, I just want to enjoy this and watch it.
Yeah, I actually didn't take any notes because I wanted it to be kind of like an authentic experience for me. And it was, we only watched the first season, and the first season, so Infinity Train, for those that are unaware, was originally meant to be a mini-series. Originally only was supposed to be 10 episodes, but it was such a hit, and I mean, amazing critical acclaim for this thing. The critics love it, we loved it, that they kind of had no choice but to do a second season, which we haven't watched yet, so we're just going to be talking about the first 10 episodes, and each episode is only around 11 minutes, so you guys totally have the time to watch Infinity Train. If you haven't watched it yet, take the time. It's like watching a movie. It doesn't take very long to get through it, and it's totally worth it.
It is a trip and a half as well. Like, they go so many places.
Yeah, it's actually one of the things I really liked about it was that each episode was a different, like, so pretty much the overall story, if you don't know, is it's like an isekai, and if you're a nerd at all, you know what that is. It's like another world, more or less, but it's on a train, and this train is like never ending, it seems like, hence Infinity Train. And each car that she goes into is like a whole other planet. It's a whole other world. There's like one with dogs, there's ones with turtles, there's like, my favorite one was it's like a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, I want to go to that one and play in the ball pit
that one was
forever.
awesome.
And then it got really dark really fast. But before it all got dark, and it was just a fun little, train full of a ball pit. Yeah. Don't remind me, dude. Okay.
I was sad.
I mean, I wasn't sad. I was mad. I was like really angry. I was like, how could they do that to the dog? Okay, we're way ahead here. Obviously we enjoyed it enough if we can have this like authentic conversation about it. We clearly enjoyed it. I was messaging Isaac because Isaac watched it at like 1:00 in the morning for some freaking reason.
Yeah.
So I woke up to messages on Discord of Isaac being like, it's only like 5 minutes in, but I fucking love that. Well, he didn't say fucking, but it's only like 5 minutes in, and I love this show. And then like it's like 2 hours later, I get another message that says, I binge watched the whole thing. It's so good. And it is really good, but it's funny because for me, I was messaging Isaac on Discord, and I was like, I just can't get I am not in the right mood to watch this show, and I totally wasn't. And I was actually really nervous about having to record this episode because I was like, I can tell you right now that it is a great freaking show, but make sure, like, just like with any form of entertainment, I think this is a good lesson out there. Don't judge something based on what mood you're in before you watch it or where your headspace is at. Sometimes a show is really good and you're just not feeling it. That was kind of me at first. And even towards the end, I can't say that I was like super invested, but I can't say it was a bad show. It was really good. It was a really solid, well done show. I don't think there was many flaws in it. Except for the fact that obviously me and you totally different. You were hooked within 5 minutes, and I watched all 10 episodes, and I was like, I could live without it, but I'm glad I watched it. I didn't need to know how it ended, but I'm kind of glad I waited and watch the whole thing, I guess. I don't know.
Main character is super relatable. Like, she's adventurous, curious. I like how she was going to game design camp, because that's what I kind of did. Not camp, but like different school.
Nerd.
I was like, this is really cool. And something I actually noticed, because she's into like coding and stuff like that. I noticed with the train, her number on her hand got to 0. A portal opened up in the clouds to her train. it kind of looked like it was connecting to it, almost like a code. Like, what
Interesting.
the heck?
I didn't. You were paying way more attention than me.
I was like, every episode, I was like, there's got to be something to this train. Is One-One's purpose? What is Atticus doing here?
Yeah, I mean, like, to be real, like, One-One's journey made sense. Atticus was just man's best friend. Like, like, you have to have a dog. And then, of course,
Yeah.
they went. I think that's the thing that made me annoyed about the dog thing. As I was thinking about it, and the easiest way to force people into having an emotional reaction is to hurt a dog. So, spoiler alert, they hurt the dog. The dog's
Literally.
name is Atticus, and they hurt the dog. And that's
Straight
just
up,
like, that is such a cheap shot. Like, honestly, like, I was just mad that a dog got hurt. I didn't even care if, like, oh, Atticus got hurt. If Atticus was a person, I'd been like, who fucking cares? But it was a dog. So, and the dogs are all like super cool. Like, I was telling Isaac, like, I laughed really hard at a couple of them.
yeah.
I have a couple dogs, and when she goes like, "Can we go outside? You want to go outside?" And he's like, "No," like dancing. Like, I was like,
okay,
"That's my dogs." I feel
literally.
that all the time. So that was and that was another thing with the show. I'm kind of like dominating this conversation. I've had like 3 Red Bulls. The humor was surprisingly dark.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where, like, I don't know what platform Infinity Train is on. It seemed like a more, I guess, not adult, but like not really meant for kids. I don't know. Like, it could be, but then there's some things that go in the direction that it's not meant for kids. It was weird.
Yeah, I think it was a nice middle ground, because I think when we think of kids entertainment, we go straight to the entertainment that's meant for like 10 and under, and then adult has to be like rated R. I think Infinity Train hits that perfect middle ground where you're right, the main character is really relatable. They made sure to make content that was relatable to people in her age group.
Exactly.
All right, let's start with episode 1. Let's just go through it. Episode 1.
Okay.
What was your first? So you were hooked right away. You loved it. What was it about it within that first 5 minutes? You said, okay, you mentioned like she was into coding and went to game camp and all this stuff. But what was it in that first 5 minutes where you were just like, this is going to be a great show?
I mean, just the first like 20 seconds, and she's like walking back to her house with her friend, and that music's playing, and you're already getting this feel of what the show is about. Like this very spacious, like an 80s synth kind of sound. I feel like I love that. It just added so much more to it without the characters even talking. It just goes to show you music, like different art forms have a huge impact on animation, like anything has to do with television, movies, any of that. So that was one reason. I liked how it started out with the main character having to deal with real life things. That also lets you know what this show is like instantly about. I feel like a lot of cartoons don't address divorced parents. Like that's kind of a darker theme to on a cartoon show. I really respected about Infinity Train right off the bat. So that was kind of why I was hooked. The art is amazing. Backgrounds are amazing. There wasn't really any frames that I noticed that were out of place. Like it all fit perfectly.
Yeah, the overall production is so good. And yeah, it's got its own style to it from an artistic standpoint. Like this, when you see it, you're gonna know what that show is. There is no questioning. Like, did this? You know, it's very Infinity Train. Like I guess, and I mean, like it's gonna be 10 years from now, and even if I never rewatch the show, I could see a frame from this and be like, that's Infinity Train. Like that's how
Exactly.
like, unique it is. Everyone's parents are divorced. Like we're outliers here. If your parents aren't divorced, you are in the elite class of lucky. So I think that the show.
I could relate to a little bit because there was a time period like a couple years ago, but it just kind of brought back those memories, and I was like, okay, I can relate with this character in not really a good way. Yeah.
But I think that's good because there's a lot of I'm the true outlier. Like I have the perfect all-American family, 2 parents that love each other more than anything. And you know, so for me, like the divorce concept is I'm so far removed from it because my parents never even fought. But the reality is that the majority of kids can relate to it, and that's what makes it such a good it sounds messed up to say good. I don't mean good as in like, yay,
Oh,
congratulations, divorce. I mean like like it's something that it has a purpose. It's not just a shock value at this point, unfortunately, in our society. It's a very real reality for a lot of kids. And I think that it's important to have it in there. And I think that when it's a huge theme for that, and you realize too, like the age she's at, like that stuff hurts a lot when no matter what age you are, but when you're in an age where life is already shitty, like it's having your parents get divorced is even shittier, you know? And you see and you're right, it's brought up to the forefront so quickly with how it's affecting her life, and not just her life in an emotional standpoint. She couldn't even go to this camp she wanted to go to because her parents fucked up the scheduling, and that's it, whether your parents are divorced or not. That's annoying, but on top of having them be divorced, that's 3 times as annoying. So yeah, I do like that they went straight into that.
What sucks about it too is the whole family's already having to deal with this divorce, right? Like parents don't even know what the kid's going through, and then the parents are trying to figure out what they're trying to do with each other. It is. So then the kid just kind of gets pushed away, like the wayside, like forgotten about a little bit, like neglect. It just like I felt for the main character so much after seeing that.
Yeah, they just went straight into it with the relatability and the emotional pull. And then they dumped her onto a train. And they're like, now
okay.
you have to sort this out. You have to sort out this emotional baggage that you're stuck with while you're trapped in an endless train of endless worlds, and you don't know if you're gonna live or die. Like,
one thing I really loved about it, not to plug the other podcast on Nonessential Media, but Let's Talk Avatar.
If you haven't listened to Let's Talk Avatar, please check it out.
Me and Rachel actually watched the first 4 episodes of season 3.
I'm sorry.
That went up like a couple days ago, but in those
I need to go listen to that just to hear what you guys say about those episodes. Sorry, God.
In those episodes, King is running from his problems. You start to realize like running from your problems obviously isn't a good thing. It just causes more problems, and you're gonna have to face it head on at that point. Like at some point you're gonna have to face it. So I was kind of relating that watch through with Indy Train, because she the reason she's on the train is because she's trying to run away from her problems. She finds this train. I feel like, and there's multiple people stuck on this train we see towards the end of it, and I feel like the train is for people who are just stuck. This is like their challenge to try and get out of it. I don't know.
No, that makes sense because we're not doing this in chronological order, but let's just jump right to the end. Without spoiling too much, who the conductor ends up being. I don't know how to say this without spoiling the whole fucking show. But, okay, never minding the conductor part. There is another person that's on the train, and you're right, they were running away from a problem, and they've been running away for a long time, and I think that's kind of like the mind-boggling thing. And the whole, there's numbers on, fuck, I don't even know where to start with this.
There's so much.
I know, there's so much in these 10 episodes, it's crazy. Our main character's Tulip, right? Yeah, okay. How could you forget that name, first of all? Second of all, she has a number on her hand, and it's kind of like the bad juju, more or less, that's going on in her head and in her life. The other person who's on the train, their number is like infinity. No pun intended.
Really?
It's massive, and they're not getting off that train until that number goes down to 0, so they're probably never going to get off. But I think it's interesting because it goes to show you that, you know, when she was, this is so complicated to talk about. When Tulip was working through her problems, she knew that there was a something at the end of it. You know, she wanted to get off the train, but she also didn't run away when she finally got onto the train. In a way, like she kind of went head first into it, which she couldn't do at home.
I really like that.
Yeah, and it's a good lesson compared to the other person that's on the train who continued to try to escape the reality that unfortunately was outside the train, which just kind of made it worse. And I think that's a really good theme for kids, is that it's just easier and it's better and healthier to get through this rough patch that you're in, and you're going to become a better person at the end of it instead of trying to escape it.
not trying to sound like a boomer here, but also trying to sound like a boomer. I really love that we got this Infinity Train, the themes of this show in today's world, because including myself and a lot of my generation and previous generations, any generation really, I feel like it's more of the norm to run away from things, especially with all the like technology we have now. Like it's so easy to just get away, not face what is really happening.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it is a good lesson. And you're kind of regardless, really. I think there's people, the other person that's on the train is like in their 60s, so they are a boomer, and they. But I think it goes to show you too that it doesn't matter how old you are, or where you're at in life, or where you're from. You're gonna run into something that really freaking sucks in your life, and you have to be sympathetic to the other character who is the quote unquote bad guy of the show. She's not really a bad person. She just can't deal with the tremendous loss that's happened in her life. She doesn't know how to cope. Like she doesn't have anything outside of what she lost.
I kind of wish Lapis went through this. Honestly,
we've jumped all over the place with this story, but there is so much about it. What was your thoughts on 1-1?
At first, I was kind of like, I didn't realize it was two different voices.
I didn't
two
either.
Different robots.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Until like episodes in, I was like, wait, there's two robots in this thing. That's why it's called 1-1.
Yeah, when it said it was 1, and then the other voice said 1, I was like, is its name 1 or 1-1? Like I wasn't even sure until she said 1-1, and I was like, okay, is she like joking and fucking around, or like is its name really 1-1? And then yeah, once I realized it was two separate robots, I was like, oh, okay, now it makes a lot more sense.
You know what episode? Okay, I'm just gonna say episode 5 was my favorite because she dealt with her like at that moment she really grasped her feelings and kind of got over challenge that she was facing. Was
episode 5 the one, because I didn't take any notes, was episode 5 the one where the cat showed her the memories?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a really good episode.
I felt like that was like very well done. There was another episode, I think it's episode 7 or 8, Mirror World. That episode effed me up.
The entire second season is about the reflection, right?
Really? Okay, that just makes me want to watch it.
That's why I was wondering if you'd already watched the second season or not, because I was like, maybe I'll watch the second season, and you're like, no, and I was like, all right, I won't fuck with it then. But yeah, that's actually when my first introduction to Infinity Train was stuff from the second season. Everyone was like super into the themes and stuff of the reflection. So, but yeah, that reflection episode was like, I don't know, felt like I love when people, when directors and creative people can create that surreal feeling within me when I'm watching something. It's I guess, yes, creeped out or freaked out or like weirded out is a good way of putting it, but it's like an uneasiness that you get when you're seeing something that's so just bizarre and
yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. You just have to watch the show and see that episode. It's a very creative thing. It's super unique, really well done. I think they use the idea of reflections in a pretty cool way. And did you notice at the end of the show, she doesn't have a reflection anymore? Yeah, when she walks by a mirror with her dad, and she doesn't have a reflection because her reflection is gone.
See, I knew something was going to happen at the very end, and I was waiting for it, but I guess I didn't notice that.
Yep, now you know.
I thought it was kind of weird. I was trying to understand the whole concept and theme they were going for the reflection. Like, is it a different entity, or is it like a different personality of hers, or is it like a different part of her? I don't know what the reflection is.
I think that's one of the things that I like that's unique about it, is that because it is this kind of open-ended interpretation a little bit, because a lot of times when you see reflections, it's always going to be like the dark side or the inner workings of, or another version of. I think they did a good job of kind of like merging all these different ideas of what a reflection is into its own thing. Which is why I'm very interested in seeing how that it all plays out in the second season, to see what kind of themes they continue to play with there. Because, you think about it, like, A reflection. What is a reflection without its person? Like a shadow without its person. What purpose does it serve? So I'm hoping they explore those kinds of concepts and stuff in the second season. But we'll have to give it a go when we get around to watching it.
What were your thoughts on that like creepy blue flame-eyed like robot tentacle? That thing creeped me out.
With the blue what eyes?
And they're like flamey blue eyes, like the bullet eyes.
The villain, or not the villain, but the kind of like villain thing. The monster is what you're talking about, with like the weird face and the like.
Yeah.
I anything that has a face like that, like a mask-esque type face, I don't like. Automatically creepy. It doesn't matter what else you're going for; it's automatically creepy. And then on top of that, tentacles. That's super creepy. Yeah, I think it was a very cool design to have for a quote unquote villain. It's all of the nightmare fuel that you need for a show like this, and it created a lot of interesting different types of challenges for our protagonist. So I actually really liked it as a quote unquote villain.
Not to Avatar again, but it literally looked like the face stealer.
Oh
right
my
off
god,
the bat.
that's what it was. Okay,
because
when it first appeared and it did that like, and it did like the little turnaround thing. I remember sitting there thinking like, where have I seen this before? Like just everything about it felt really familiar. And you're right, it's the face stealer. That's exactly what it reminds me of. Maybe that's what makes it so creepy. I don't know.
We talk about the sense of danger in the show. Like there's multiple times where I was like, how is she gonna get out of this? Something's got to give, and it was Atticus.
Okay, first of all, Atticus made it in the end, so
True.
But it's very rare for a children's show to say die and kill as many times as this show did. It felt like I was watching and not to sound dramatic, but like a more adult anime in a way, because I think back on, I don't even think I think Avatar, want to bring it back to Avatar again, and as serious as that show tried to be, I think they might have only said killed or died like once or twice that entire show. Usually it was like put an end to or whatever, that kind of crap. They didn't pull any punches with the reality that she was facing on this train, that she could die, that there was a lot at stake. And that helps create a sense of fear as a viewer too. When she didn't understand the numbers on her hands and it was like it's counting down, she's gonna die when it gets to 0. Of course, that didn't end up being true, but at first that's what you're led to believe. I remember sort of thinking like, this show is crazy. Like she's like powerless and is going to die. Like what the hell, man? So the sense of danger was very, very well done. Some of the best, probably the best sense of danger that I've felt from a cartoon show in a long time.
What I love about this show is because it has 2 seasons, but because we were watching the first season, there's so much to like learn about, and I just want to know more about the whole lore of the train, and even like Atticus turned into, and those things in the beginning, they're like these alien dogs that like assuming steal your soul or something.
Yeah, it's kind of what it looked like, huh? I don't know. That was creepy though. When that first one attacked her and was like sucking her life force out of her, I'm like, oh my god, she's gonna die. It's like the second episode. You can't do this.
Instantly, yeah. What are your thoughts on Randall?
Randall was my favorite character, so let's just get that out of the way. Randall seeps through the cracks or whatever the hell it was.
Oh
my god.
Pyramid scheme.
I just want to say, like, if I haven't made it clear yet, I loved the humor for this show. Like,
so good.
I have a really messed up sense of humor, and they didn't fuck around with the sense of humor at all. They went super dark with 1-1, constantly making these jokes from like, how did they get this through the censors?
God, it had the most amazing jokes, one-liners,
just constant, and then none of them felt forced. It all felt very real. And Randall was just a blob of humor, and I loved it. First of all, trying to sell a donut hole puncher, and it's a pipe. And everywhere he went, he's like, oh, have I got a thing for you? And it's like, oh my god.
Just stop.
I loved it.
Kat, I thought was very interesting about voice acting. The girl that voices Amelia, I knew as soon as I heard it. For any people that have watched Game of Thrones, know that this voice is Cersei. The person who did the cat, was that Kate Mulgrew? Yeah,
Kate Mulgrew. Yeah, Captain Janeway.
Very well done. Like it made me feel. I didn't feel like Cat was bad or inherently good. It was just a character with a purpose and a mission. They want you to make they want you to think that she's bad.
Yeah, I think it's one thing that the show did really good was that there's no evil in the show. And a perfect example of that is the cat. I mean, cat is when you're first introduced, I feel like I didn't it was like an immediate distrust on my side, probably because it did seem like a pyramid scheme. But then it's just the journey throughout. Literally just there to serve her purpose, whatever it is, and to get the job done. And there really isn't a good or evil to the cat. It just is a part of the universe, and I think that's pretty real. And I like that they can go and have this like morally gray character and it not turn into a bunch of cliche lines about being morally gray. They just delivered and displayed the morally gray aspect of the world through this character without having to turn it into a cliche, and I really like that.
It's gonna sound messed up, but I loved how the cat was having to deal with like mentally repercussions of not doing her job the right way. Amelia found out. I don't know why, but that was just like so cool to me to like have that really gray area and have them explore that like within her head in that moment. I don't know why I like the cat so much, but the cat was like honestly one of my favorite characters. I loved the like little pod that she had.
Yeah,
And
that
the
was really cool. The design on
sticky
that was
thing.
awesome.
When she captured one, I was like, no, one's got to survive this somehow.
Yeah, I one I didn't never really got attached to one. It just which is funny because one ended up, spoiler alert, being the conductor. So whoop. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get attached to anybody in the show. And then we were talking about Atticus. So for the uninformed, Atticus is a dog, like the king of the corgis, more or less, who goes to help Tulip on the journey throughout the train, and ends up getting turned into this like bug thing, and it hurt, like more or less the dog gets hurt, okay? And like I said, I didn't feel emotional. I just got I wasn't sad. I was just annoyed. I was like, really, they did it to the dog. So that was it. That's the only drawback I think that I have from the show. And I don't know if I was just like emotionally tapped out before I started or what, but I never really. Yeah, there was a sense of danger, but I didn't care. Like it was more of just like an excitement. Like, cool, is she gonna die? Like, she died. It wasn't a big deal to me, you know. So that's the only negative thing that I have to say about the show. So I can't say that I was like, you're like, I really love the cat. I thought the cat was a really well done character. I think all of the characters are really well done, but I can't say I really liked or hated any of them.
Pretty sure they talked about it in the end. I just forgot somehow. Number on your hand when you go in, is that the number? Number goes up if you're running away from reality. It goes down if you're facing reality. Is that correct?
Yeah, so like the numbers will go up if a passenger does or says something wrong, or the number goes down if a passenger does or says something right. Which that's very weird because isn't this all subjective? Like,
Yeah. How is it gonna know?
And the number can change into different symbols if a passenger has a problem that doesn't seem fixable. So that's shitty.
The train has a conscience. It's just AI. Because there's no way that Amelia could possibly, I mean, maybe, but like possibly control that entire train, point where it knows your number and knows and you have not done something good.
Yeah, I don't know what the train is supposed to be. I guess it's just some mythical thing. It's just. I mean, it's an isekai. No one knows where these other worlds are from. That's the logic behind it. You know. So I don't think it's. I don't think that it is an AI. I don't think it's a real train. It's otherworldly. So I don't know what to. I think that you're trying to deep dive into a lore that doesn't exist.
Yeah, I think so too. Do you think that it's maybe like open ended? Where it's like this is your reality now. Like it's a different dimension, but it's also reality with where you're at with like the challenges you're faced with.
Yeah, it's like when you reach a crossroads or in your life, or you're in a rut in your life, then this train is there, and it's the I think it's almost metaphorical in a way, like how we ourselves get stuck, like, you know, when you get stuck in a rut and you get down on yourself or you're down in the dumps, it is kind of a lot like being stuck on this train. I mean, it's a good visual metaphor for what it's like to have to go through. I'm sure what Tulip's headspace was like at that time. So I think it's just a from a visual standpoint, from its purpose, is just a way to physically work through the spot you're at in your head. So I haven't read anything that the creator has said about it or anything, so I'm just spitballing here. I'm sure that there's information out there, but we didn't look into it, so whoop.
The thing I thought was really weird was that the train wasn't its own thing. Like, it was inside of a different place. That was definitely not Wisconsin. Like, it was that barren wasteland of like oranges and reds. You notice that? Yeah, I'm just looking too deep into it.
Yeah, I think you are.
It's weird though, because there's a lot of things answered and there's just a lot of things said. Coming from a show like Steven Universe, like everyone theorized the crap out of that, and I'm just trying to do the same thing. So
I think with Infinity Train, it's just another place. Like, there is no, see, when compared to like Steven Universe, so you keep going back to Steven Universe. Well, Steven Universe doesn't have another dimension in it. It's just the fucking world. Like, it's just the world that this, and it's like this, I don't know, like, it's like another Earth, more or less. So there's no reason, like, Beach City doesn't exist. Are you trying to theorize why Beach City exists? Like, it's just another world. It's just what it is.
I guess I was just trying to reference it to like shows. What were your thoughts on like how some episodes they'd go to a different train, cars, and then others they'd spend like even 2 episodes in one? Thought that was like kind of thought that was weird at first, but then I was like, well, Corginia has a lot to offer and they learn a lot of things there. And then the ball pit area is where a lot goes down. Then they skirt through different rooms like Turtle One and all these other places. I just thought it was cool how they were able to pick and choose where they wanted, like as a writer, I guess. How cool would that have been in the writer's room? Like, oh, let's make this room she can go through and maybe have her spend like 2 episodes here and then like no time in these other cars. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked that each is more or less each episode. Yeah, there was a couple here and there where it was a little more than one, but what was a new adventure? It was a new place, a new opportunity for the creative staff to show off their creativity. So it was fun. And yeah, I mean, it'd be a lot of fun to be able to work on a show like that. Like, you get to spitball something freaking crazy. Like, what if they were stuck in a Chuck E. Cheese, like, and a toy rabbit needed them to return a toy. Like,
God, that toy rabbit, he's like, I'm stuffed. And one was like, so am I. Dang.
Yeah, I really like that. I like that is exploring more or less, and I mean, that's what you want to do as a creator. You want to have an endless supply, and that's what Infinity Train offers. It offers an endless supply of opportunity for the creative staff to come up with something new and something exciting every episode. And I think they did a great job. I don't think there was any place that I didn't like. I think all of it felt really fun, while still having that sense of danger. So to me, it was a great idea. How'd you feel about the reveal of the conductor for Infinity Train?
My brain's just dumb, so I was like, hey, one's evil. And I was like, no, he's just the conductor. But Amelia was making it seem like he was going to do something terribly wrong. In her eyes, he was. But I guess for me, the show made it feel like it was for everyone. Like he was just going to mess everything up. He didn't. Like, oh, he's the conductor.
Yeah, it's interesting to think that she was on a quest. What is wrong with my mic? Stop it. I'm looking at my like little screamy guy face, and I'm like seeing if it's lit up or not, so I know whether or not. Also, your icon is terrifying. It's funny that the whole thing was her trying to find the conductor to get off. The conductor was with her the entire time.
Yeah, weird because he was there the whole time, and she even mentioned going to see the conductor, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll accompany you on this mission." Well, maybe he's just it's 1-1. Like nobody really knows what's going on.
1-1 was an interesting character. I think that they did a good job with the dueling quote unquote personalities and stuff. It was pretty fun.
We didn't even know about till halfway through.
I know, God, we're very stupid. That's the moral of the story. We're dumb.
It was a cool show though. I really liked it. I was just so excited that something finally had me hooked this fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was solid. I'm kind of upset that I didn't start watching it when it first came out. I mean, it's not that there's a lot to watch, but I feel like I've wasted time not watching it. Definitely super solid overall. I mean, the production overall was just really good. I can't find a flaw in the production, really. Like, I mean, we're talking animation was perfect. The storyboarding was very well done for all the action scenes. The concept, although isekai was very interesting and well done, the different trains being different world or different train cars being different worlds was great. The voice acting was phenomenal. I can't stress enough how great the voice acting was for every single character in the show. There was not a bad voice out there. The music, like you said, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. The music, like you said, was perfect for it. Fit the theme. Like you hear it and you know immediately what you're getting into. It's this crazy sci-fi other world, and it sets a mood, and it gets inside your head and helps create a great atmosphere. It was just overall a well packaged deal.
Yeah. I like IQ.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we haven't mentioned Haikyuu in the last even know how long this podcast.
Don't worry, we talk about Haikyuu still, guys. Yeah, I'm glad that we watched Infinity Train, though. I'm glad that it was recommended for us. So to the fan who recommended Infinity Train, well, thank you. What's your overall score for Infinity Train on a scale of 10? 10 being the best, 1 being...
I was thinking about it last night, actually, very in-depthly. Like, would I actually rank this? Like, all my thoughts included. I came to the conclusion, personally, I think it is a 9 out of 10. The fact that it's a complete package, and I haven't seen animation that has made me feel that way, and I think a lot of it has to do with what you said previously, that it was meant to be like a one and done thing, like just one shot, that it was so popular I think they had time to perfect it because it was meant to be one season.
Yeah, the pilot aired in like 2016, and the show came out in 2019. So they had plenty of time once it was greenlit to make it good, and they did it. They made it good for sure.
Would like I saw a bunch of videos about upcoming shows, animation, and what you should watch, and all this stuff on YouTube. Like a couple years back, and Infinity Train was always like on everyone's list. What is so good about this show? But now I know. Do you rate Infinity Train?
You know, I just recently watched a 10 out of 10 show. And then I watched a show that made me cry for an hour and a half. So I to Infinity Train after having watched two phenomenal shows. I literally that's I sent you a message that it's a moratorium on me making fun of you crying for 3 months because I cried for literally an hour and a half on the show. So
you good?
No, I'm still shook by that show. I not joking. So well done. That's for another day.
It's a lot.
No, I would love to tell you. I want to talk about those shows so bad. Because one was a 10 out of 10 show that I have to go watch again. Like there's no way I'm not going to watch that show again. And then the other one I'll watch again eventually, but just the roller coaster of emotions, I have never, it's been a long time since I've watched a show that pulled me as hard as that show did. So honestly, and I wasn't my headspace was already attached to these two other shows, and I shouldn't have watched them. I should have waited a week or two and cleared my head before we watched Infinity Train. But that being said, Infinity Train, it might have been a 9 out of 10 for me if it wasn't for those shows, but it's an 8 or an 8.5. An 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. The only thing that I really have going against it is that it didn't pull me in the way it pulled you in. There was no immediate hook for me. Not that like I said, I don't regret watching it. There was never a feeling of regret. It was just I'm aware that I watched a phenomenal show. There's no doubt about it. But I never got super hooked. If they never made any more, or I was never able to watch season 2, I would be okay with that. It wouldn't hurt me in any way. And I had no emotional connection to anything in that show. I couldn't relate to the main character like you could, which is shitty for me as a viewer. But great for all the kids out there that can relate to her, and that I think that's awesome that you can relate to a main character. That's great. I still think that the move on Atticus was just because he was a dog. There was not a single moment in that show that really pulled at my heartstrings, and I think that's what prevents it from being higher rated. But that's just me, guys. Like, if you're listening, this is not a knock against the show. That's my personal opinion. A lot of you are going to say this is a 10 out of 10 show, and I would be okay with that. It is so well done. If it hits all the boxes, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that for you to say it's a 9 out of 10, I totally respect that. I don't think you're overhyping it at all. I don't think you're giving it a score it doesn't deserve. This show is really freaking good, guys. Like, you have to watch it. I'm not, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, it's 10 episodes. 10 episodes at 11 minutes apiece. You have the time for it. Watch it. You will not regret it, I promise. Solid fucking show. Thank you to the person who recommended it. It gave me an excuse to watch it. I'm glad I did. I'm glad that we got to talk about it. We'll watch season 2 and we'll talk about season 2. That's all I got to say about it.
I wish you could see me because like, most of the time when you're talking, I'm just shaking my head yes. Obviously, you can't see that, so I'm like, I should be saying yeah or like agreeing more, but I'm just shaking my head sitting here. Like,
if it makes you feel better, that's usually what I was doing that earlier, shaking my head, and I was like, normally we record face to face so you can see my expressions and stuff, and I was like, he probably thinks I'm not paying attention since I haven't said anything.
I think the same thing.
It's just, and we even have the dual like channels and everything, but when I hear you start talking, I stop talking because I don't know if you're agreeing or if you have something to say.
I think that's it. I just love how it's like open to interpretation, you have the ability to look into things and then you have the ability to not. Like, it's like a very open-ended show with a clear ending as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, the Tulip story is played out, and it was good. And then in the meantime, there was so many things that were still there, open for interpretation or open to be explored. And I love it when shows do that because you can walk away satisfied with this first season, and you can always hope for more. And obviously there is more, but I think they did a good job with that. It's very rare that a show can do that as well as Infinity Train did. All right, guys, that's it for Beach City Crows. My name is Jackie. Me today and always is
Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac, and maybe we'll see you guys next Saturday. I'm not really sure. My schedule's gonna get a little weird, but we're gonna be back, and we're gonna season 2 of Infinity Train. And as always, send us your requests, guys. Like, we're down for freaking anything. Join us on Discord. There's only a couple of us. We just shit talk all day. And make sure to bug Isaac on Discord as much as you can.
Just summon me again. I'll try to be there. I'll try to pull for the summon.
Just say Nekomata's name 3 times. Bye, guys. Hey guys, it's Jackie.
And Isaac.
From Nonessential Media.
We just want to thank you guys so much for listening, and if you'd like, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel or our Patreon.
And we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you're watching along with us and what your thoughts are.
You can find us on Twitter at NonessentialM.
We're on Facebook as Nonessential Media.
We're also on Instagram at Nonessential Media.
Check out our website, nonessentialmedia.com.
So check us out.
Thanks again for listening. We truly appreciate every single one of you.
See you guys next Saturday for a new episode of Beach City Crows. Bye. Skibbly babbly bab.